Again, guys, just checking in. It's a beautiful day right now, feeling good. Still feeling pretty good. Staying hydrated. We're
crushing it today.
Crushing it today. This is part, like I said, this is the bonus for this episode. We're gonna try and do more of these vlogs with our guests during the week to give you more of an insight. But here, Ray, go ahead.
You know, we're out here for mental health and recovery, and right now, if there's anybody dealing with any depression or just not wanting to be here right now or anything like that, I'm sorry that you're going through it. Whatever the circumstances may be. I'm not going to pretend to know or that I know what you're going through, but I want to let you know I don't have to know you in person to tell you from the bottom of my heart and mean it that I love you and I care about you. Semi-sorry. And I want to see everybody be able to go live their best life. I want to tell you that you have value, you have purpose, you are loved and cared about, and you matter so very much. So please never lose sight of that. Easier said than done, but cut out all the negativity out of your life. People that put you down, cut them out of your lives. Don't talk to them. Do what's best for you because you owe it to yourself, and love yourself and be kind to others as well.
Exactly. Here we go. And we have Coach Kendall Ray back here again. We are just on the outside right now. We are about to crush this interview. I crushed 15 miles with them and I'm still feeling it. So I mean, awesome. I did awesome. So we are out here. We are out here in the greater part of East LA, out here at the Paramount, and we're about to go in and get everything ready. So guys, stay tuned. We got Coach Kendall Ray out here. You matter. And how are we doing tonight, East Los Angeles? We are here on KQBHLP in Los Angeles, California, on the 101.5 FM, community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live and streaming on your FM dial and kqbhla.com. And today we have a very, very special guest. I had the opportunity to join this individual on Friday for a very nice hot walk. Definitely still feeling that walk. But my guest today is a walking testimony. Coach Kendall Ray out here from Jacksonville, Florida. He is now on a journey. It's about 2.5 years, correct?
Yeah, I've been at it for over 2.5 years now.
Yeah, and so he's on a journey for about 2.5 years now, and he has been walking for mental health awareness, and it's an amazing cause, man.
Thank you.
I personally have been battling and going through some stuff, and to be able to hang out with him and get his time on Friday and to walk for this cause, I got to push the cart a little bit. You know, I got some miles in on the cart. He hit me with the first hill and he was like, how do you like it? I was like, I love it. I love it. So moral of it is, though, guys, is we're going to have a fun conversation. And today's episode is about mental health awareness, really, and bringing advocacy and light to the situation, and especially for men. You know, I think if I've read the stat right, I think it's like 1 or 2 men, like every 60 seconds, if I've read that correct, take their life.
I wouldn't be able to tell you correctly off the top of my head. I would have to look that up.
Yeah,
I can find out.
I was trying to dive in on some info, and I think what I gathered was it's about 1 or 2, roughly. So, you know, once again, guys, do you want to drop that hotline really quick on air for anyone that is going through anything?
Yeah, the 988 crisis lifeline, guys. Since July 20th of 2022, the 988 lifeline has been there. You can call, text, or email them anonymously, or if you want to let them know who you are. For anybody that just has a hard time with reaching out and just sharing what you're going through, maybe you feel shame, which you never should, but maybe that is the case, guys. Just know that the 988 hotline is always there, and please never forget that we all have value, we all have purpose, and you all matter.
Yes, thank you, Coach. And, you know, we're just going to dive in. We're going to talk a little bit about Kendall, his journey, why he's doing this journey, and we're just going to dive into it. So first and foremost, Kendall, let's just share with my audience who you are, where you're from, and why you were doing this.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? My name is Coach Kendall Ray, aka a walking testimony. Currently walking across America into all 4 corners, the northwestern, southwestern, to the southeastern, to the northeastern point of the lower 48 states for mental health awareness and recovery, and remembrance of beautiful souls that are no longer with us due to mental health and/or recovery issues, drug overdose, suicide, etc. And for the ones that are currently still struggling, you never know what anybody's going through. As somebody personally, in the last 16 years of my life, I have tried to take my life twice. I have overdosed too many times. I have been in county jail 11 times, in prison twice. I'm 31 with 13 felony convictions on my record and way too many misdemeanors. But I'm a firm believer that my past does not define me and that there is always hope. April 12th of 2019, doing a 5-year prison sentence, it clicked in my head and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. Now I'm over 63 months drug free. The thing is it's been a dream of mine to walk across America since 2013, well before these causes were ever into play. I was doing a year in the county jail in Florida. I read a newspaper article titled America on Foot about a guy named Harrison Melanian who had walked from Tallahassee, Florida to Laguna Beach, California. Fell in love with the story, knew I wanted to do it, tried to put together a walk to take off January 1st, 2015. My life just obviously wasn't in the right spot. I kept getting locked up, having to prolong it. Ended up going to prison, getting out, going back to prison, and that's when I changed my life. Yeah, just out here literally to tell people that they matter, that we do recover. It's mental health awareness. As much as I would love to say that I could go out there and save the world and change everybody's lives, I in reality I can't do that. But as somebody who has been through all the things that I have been through, I decided to make a positive change in my life. I sacrificed a lot. I set myself goals. I set time aside to specifically do the things that were uncomfortable, like working out and making myself get up between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning, just to discipline myself to make sure I had it. And all of that was a huge part of my life change. I know maybe not everybody's as physically capable or mentally capable to do all the things that I've been blessed to be able to overcome and to go out and do. But, everything kind of revolved around trying to force myself to live a positive mindset, get my faith back, and loving myself. Taking that time to focus on myself, not worrying about what everybody else was thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was amazing explanation. Wanted you to get that off. So you said, being positive and like doing all that. So when you were in that moment, so this was, you said April 12th, 2019. What was like, you say you don't want to do this no more, but what was really like, what clicked in your head?
So I'll go ahead and say that there was a couple different things that were a part of it that I didn't even recognize at the beginning. But, when it came to using and stuff, for anybody that wants to know, I'll put the reality out there is, prisons aren't necessarily correctional institutions. They're just placed to house people who make mistakes in life. Some of those people want to change, some of those people don't, but it's easier... maybe not the amount, but it is just as easy, if not easier, to get drugs and to get access to those things in prison than it is on the streets, because it's not who do you got to call, who do you got to wait for, this, that, and the other. It's what bunk in my dorm do I have to walk to? And when that reality hits, like, it really shows you, like, it's hard to get away from the lifestyle that everybody thinks, like, going to prison gets them away from. It's not like that. There's just as much crime going on right inside the gate as there is on the streets. And it's crazy. But at the end of the day, we're all human. I've had a few issues with people in there, but I didn't have a bunch of issues. And most of the time, I was like the little brother of the dorm. I'm so sorry, man. What was that original question?
Just what was it? What was it that clicked?
Oh, so it was one day that somebody was actually like giving me something for free. Something that I hardly ever actually did drugs in prison. It was very, very few times. And this was one of those times that somebody was going to give me something, and we ended up getting on an argument about something totally irrelevant to that. And at that point, I was like, you know what? You can just keep it. I don't want it. And it was probably within a week or two at the very latest that I claimed April 12th as my date. So it was actually a little bit before then that I stopped.
But when you actually were fully, to yourself.
But one day it was just like, boom, this is it. But there was a couple other things. So in 2017, and this is another thing. I come from my family. My parents are still together. They just had their 36th anniversary. Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Love y'all. I can't sit here and, play the role like saying that I came from a broken family and all of that stuff, because I didn't. And I am blessed. And anybody that did, I just want to let you know real quick, because this is what I am about. you are loved and you are cared about. You have value and purpose, even if you weren't treated like that the way we all deserve to be from the beginning. Just know that you are, and I don't have to know you in person to tell you from the bottom of my heart. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So please never give up. Always keep fighting for yourself and love and learn to love yourselves. If you have a hard time with it, I know it's not always easy, but learn to love yourself. My dad. Me and my friends were on some LSD and cocaine in my garage back in 2017. We ended up leaving, and then we came back, and my parents didn't really want us to be there to be disruptive. It was their house, but I just wasn't having anything that they were saying. I didn't want my friends out driving all messed up, whatever. Ended up to a big argument. My dad's been disabled for a very long time. Went to the point where he went to swing a guitar at me. It missed me. It accidentally hit my mom in the face. And then me and my dad got in this big thing where I'm just thankful that he's here today, that we've been able to restore a relationship. But I ended up going to jail on a domestic at that point, and it could have been a lot worse. I'm thankful that it wasn't.
But that's crazy, though, just to think, like, your dad was trying to get at you, and then you're like, nope, and then bop, Mom's gets popped in the head with a guitar.
And yeah, dude, it was heartbreaking. It was 2 days before Mother's Day, man, and I'd already put my family through so much stuff that they never deserved for such a long period of time. And this was that, final straw kind of thing. It took me a little while to get it right in prison, but finally it clicked in my head. So I ended up going to jail, and that kind of led up, because once I got out of jail, I wasn't allowed to go back to my house. I had an injunction against my father at the time. And with that, I was doing stupid stuff. I was out on the streets, not necessarily with a place to go. And that's what led to me and two other people kicking in a drug dealer's door. And they had guns on video. And that's why I caught an armed charge and went back to prison for 5 years. But my dad came to visit me, and it just happened to be around the same time that I got in that argument with that person. I think my mom is the one that pointed it out to me, like exactly a week before I claimed my date is when my dad actually came to visit me in prison after like 2 years of not seeing him. So I think restoration in relationships, restoring different things, I never thought about it like that, but it's a subconscious healing that I really believe that I went through, and all of that played a huge part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. And and the fact, too, like, that you're able to acknowledge these things, that's a big step forward with everything, is being able to just say, hey, I messed up, I did this. So when you were, say when you were a young, rambunctious young man, did you ever think, say, 10 years ago that you would ever lead a charge for mental health awareness? Or did you ever have in your thought before you read that article that you would do anything positive like this? Were you just stuck in that mindset over there in Florida?
You know what? I used to deal with my own depression and everything like that. So I used to be in like a really, really funky mindset. Like I said, I have tried to take my life, and my freshman year in high school is when I tried to take my life for the first time. It's I would have never thought that I was going to do something like this. I did get into music like my freshman year of high school and stuff like that, and that was definitely very, very helpful. I thought I was going to be a rock star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I play guitar, a little bit of piano, I write songs. I'm not the best singer, but I can carry a tune in a bucket.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to love rap. I'm a decent freestyler. I could spit rhymes, dude, and I got a crazy memory. I got all this stuff. Like, when it comes to music, I'm pretty decent. I used to think that was the route I wanted to take.
Hey, spitting bars, bro. I love spit. We got to spit some bars, right? Got to spit bars.
I'm telling you, dude.
Cool, you already know. When I pull up to the hippie house, I'll be like, put a beat on.
Then brought out another side of him over here.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love my bars. That's actually been, for me recently, one of my things I really have been doing is one of the first things I do when I get in front of my computer, I'll just put a beat on, just spit for like 4 or 5 minutes, just let out some charge, some animosity.
Right.
All right, I'm not even thinking about that no more. Let's go do something else now. And I've always used music, and I think I'm getting better at it now. Or even my own mother, shout out my mom, I love her so much. She said, "Why don't you put it in a song, honey? Why don't you put it on paper? Why are you telling me this?" And so, like, that was, to me, it was like, okay, like the paper and the pen is your therapist. It's your psychiatrist, just put the emotion on the paper. It's obviously, it's got to come off, and, you like to say, you got to have a tune in a bucket, but, mom, she knows, And so with you and your music journey, do you think you're going to ever reincorporate music back into your life?
It's funny. I actually put up a post like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I
saw that.
Maybe I should write an album, because I do music. Because I have written a couple songs, and I, not to be cocky, but I really do think at least one of the songs I've written is radio worthy.
It's a banger.
I have literally, it's a song that I wrote while I was locked up without any instruments, and I had a tune in my head, and I would sing it to people in prison. One time I had this dude actually write me from prison with the lyrics to my song because he remembered, because it was stuck in his head like years later.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, it was crazy. If I did put out something with music, I would definitely, incorporate at least the first album or something around the travel, but with mental health and recovery, like something positive.
Not like some Christian rap, but like some mental health rap.
Right? It could.
Right, we're gonna get a new genre. That mental health genre,
the
right?
mental health genre,
right?
And
you got Christian rap, you got mental health rap.
You can bring your mental health country, your mental health rock, your mental health screamo. Bring it all. The thing is mental health and recovery. Whether you're using or you're in recovery, it doesn't discriminate on the color of your skin, the age you are, the house you grew up in, the amount of money you got in your pocket, the school you go to, the country that you live in, the neighborhood you're at, the car you drive. It doesn't discriminate. In the poor neighborhoods to the richest neighborhoods, there is mental health and recovery crises out there, and we gotta love each other. There's so much hate. We just gotta love each other, man.
You gotta love yourself. You gotta love yourself, because the thing is if you're not happy with yourself, like how can you be happy with other people?
Yeah, they say you gotta love yourself to be able to love others too, and there is a truth in that. You could definitely have so much love for people, and you can love others and technically not love yourself, but it's so hard. It's so hard loving yourself first before you even try to put out all those emotions and stuff to other people is really the best way. I will say I did have 2 years in prison to be to myself and work on that. Not everybody has that kind of solitude to do that.
Yeah.
But self-discipline, literally, like I mentioned to you earlier, like writing goals, setting aside time to do the stuff you don't want to do,
or even like,
and go out and do it.
Even our guest on the side here tonight said, when you said you had a schedule, you had to really discipline yourself, and then I messed up, like I'm getting off my routine, like set your goals. And we even said too, like if you want to reiterate it so I don't mess it up, you said words about action or something.
This is a something that I tried to apply in my life at prison. A person's only as good as their word, and their word's only as good as their action. Now, not everything always goes 100% according to plan, and that's where communication is key. Relationships, friendships, hanging out with somebody, if something falls through, whatever, unless there's an extreme emergency, then that person just better be, sorry that they gave you a hard time for not being able to make it or something like that. But at the end of the day, that's the
goal, right?
That's the goal, man.
Yeah, you gotta be louder. I mean, trust me, I'm in the music industry down here. You know how much of this I hear? I mean, it's like every show. I got people walking, oh, let's do a show, bro. Or, and then I never see that person again. I mean,
right.
I can't even count on how many times, like, even that time we did the show over in Hollywood, when we were over with the Batch Records boys, how many times did I have people come up to me and say, hey, let's do a show, PvP? Too many, bro. And that was just one show, And it's a dog-eat-dog world, we're all ambitious. We're all trying to get some bread. We're all trying to feed our family, And so, let's ask this question before we wrap up on our first segment here. After you're done with your walk across America, what are your plans after your walk? Like, do you have things lined up? I know you said you're writing a book. You want to get back into some music. You want to be able to go and teach classes and share your story. What do you see yourself doing when you're done with this walk across America?
So, there's so much more I want to do. I want to do extreme stuff, but I want to do extreme stuff to acknowledge mental health and recovery, because a lot of stuff I do requires to get out of your comfort zone. When it comes to doing things for mental health and recovery, it requires getting out of your comfort zone. To grow sometimes requires pain, literally physically. When you're growing up, your elbows, your knees and stuff ache as you're growing and getting taller and stuff. Growing pains is a part of life. um, I would love to be able to do 100 miles on each continent and hike the Triple Crown, which is the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide, all in the name of mental health and recovery. All just to, show we can push ourselves further than we want to go, because I don't have all the answers and all the solutions. I can't sit here and tell everybody what to do, how to change their life. And that's where it really is hard, because some people try to put me in that category of that person that's supposed to do that. And that's hard, but all I can do is try to live my best life and encourage other people to want to live their best life too. But I am in the middle of writing a book. It's going to take a while before it's finished, and it's probably going to be a series of books, because originally it was just Coast to Coast. I decided after I finished Coast to Coast, I got a hernia in Alabama and walked to Colorado with a hernia. I had to stop the journey for 2 months to have surgery. Once I healed up, that put me back on day 209, November 9th, in Manitou Springs, Colorado, where, being from Florida, I've never seen snow. November 10th, the very next day after getting back out after surgery, I saw snowfall for the first time and walked through the Colorado Rockies.
I asked you on Friday what the most extreme weather you had been through, and you said it was -2 degrees.
So I camped in 2-degree weather in American Falls, Idaho. The coldest weather I had was -11 degrees in the highest incorporated city or unincorporated city. I think incorporated city, Leadville, Colorado, at over 10,200 feet. Never experienced terrain or anything like that until I've been out here on this journey. But I learned what I was capable of through the process. Everything I want to do for mental health and recovery. I really want to use all these extreme experiences to be a motivational speaker. That's my main kind of goal. I'm already kind of a content creator through social media. I'm running 5 pages, but I want to be a motivational speaker. I just had the first person ever actually reach out recently, like, hey, what are your rates? And at this point, I just got a speaking event in Yakima, Washington, after I finished this section, because I'll finish the West Coast on August 4th.
And then
I'm taking a little break before I actually walk coast to coast back to Florida. I got to get some things together, but I got these speaking events. But I had somebody ask me a rates, and I'm like, you know what? Right now I don't have rates. I would love to come share my story, though. Help me with my lodging and travel expenses to get out there. And I'll make it happen, because at the end of the day, that is the most important part. But I love the walking. But I also kind of go by invite only. I don't just kind of push myself onto stuff because I got so much going on. But when the invites come in, I love to be able to talk about mental health and recovery. And I want to be able to share all over the world. I want to be able to get a call like, hey, we want you to come to this continent because we want to hear your story, man. And I want to go share my story with them and encourage people all over the world to live their best lives, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And I think you're doing such a great job with this message. I mean, this man's walked through my hometown. He's been to a lot of cool places. I mean, I have covered some coastal towns in my life, but you have pretty much been to every coastal town from the Canadian border down to pretty much here, right?
I think all but like 1 or 2. So I missed Ocean Shores itself in Washington. It was on its own little peninsula, but I hit every other coastal town out there. I don't think I missed any in Oregon, and I'm pretty sure I've hit all of them here except for if the 101 dipped off and there was a town on the highway, but I was on the 101. I might have missed it like that, but if the 101 went through the city, I went through it on foot.
This guy has trekked, and I trekked with him on Friday. We got a bunch of positive waves, and we had Diane at the end there. She brought some snacks and some bananas for us.
It was incredible. She was amazing. She actually did my laundry for me today, man. She reached out because I asked her for a ride to a laundromat. She's like, "Do you want me to do your laundry while you got to do something?" Thank you, Diane. You're absolutely incredible. You matter.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's the thing too, which I've noticed is the outpouring of support. I mean, I told you my car kind of had some problems today, and I was going to pick you up, and I saw your post, and immediately, I mean, the amount of support you had in those comments was like, oh, I can pay for your ride, I can arrange your ride. Like, it's just how many people support you on this journey, because I think that's the biggest thing too, is like you say, someone is only good as their word is only as good as their actions, and obviously your actions have proven, what you're capable of. And that was the thing too, I want to say before we go off air here for a quick little break. I almost gave up a couple times on Friday, and he's like, bro, you got this. You're a trooper, and that right there for me, I mean, you're like a life coach, bro. Like that's why I commented, coach. You know, like you got me through that. And if I was just doing that on my own, oh, I probably would have stopped at mile 10. Okay, I walked 10 miles. But no, like it was for a purpose. I was doing this for a purpose on Friday. I was bringing awareness. Who cares how I feel? I'm doing this for the people who can't feel anything anymore. And that's the thing too, guys. You also know that, you know, I dedicated an episode to my friend Evan a couple weeks ago. And, you know, we can only do so much, but just remember that those numbers and those hotlines and everything is available. And like I've heard Coach Kendall Ray say, is he may not know the circumstances, but you matter. We all matter. We all have a purpose. Is there anything that you want to say before we go off air here, Kendall, for a little intermission?
Guys, seriously, whatever any of y'all are going through, just know that your circumstances do not define who you are. A lot of times it's so much easier said than done, but we have the choices to change our situations. It takes a lot of hard work, but it's possible. To anybody that feels like they're hopeless or that nobody cares about them, I love you and I care about you, and you're not hopeless. You have purpose and you have value. I just hope that you can find it in yourself and go out there to live your best life. To my people in recovery or struggling with recovery, I just want to let you know that you matter and we do recover. It's easier said than done, but if you really, really want it, not just the idea and everything that comes with it, but not giving up the substance itself, you have to want to give that up too. Once you want it, you know, accountability and community is amazing, and I highly recommend it. It's so encouraging. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can lead somebody to the ambulance. You cannot make them live. There's too many things being put in that stuff that is taking our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, our sons, our daughters, our aunts, our uncles, etc., our family members, our friends, our loved ones. You know, relationships are being ruined to this stuff, guys, and just know that I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to let you know that you're better than that situation that you're going through, and just keep your head up and push through. When you really want it, you can have it.
There we go. So guys, we are going to take a little break here, and if you